Hello everybody, how are you? I hope you're doing well, and it's been a long time. I get out of the habit of doing clips sometimes, and then I find it really hard to get back into the habit, I suppose. I was going to read something from the Bible and then talk about that, but I just changed my mind because I don't think I'm going to do it justice today. Hope I do something else justice. It just was too big a subject for me to get into, and whatever I do now might be, I don't know. So I grabbed my complete reader off the shelf, and these are the contents here. You can see those. So I'm just going to go. Nah. Maybe I should just open it just on any page, and I'm not cheating, honestly. So here we go. And I'm just going to read a bit and then see if I can say anything that makes sense out of it. I don't know. Okay, so let's go. Should I go in the middle? Should I go there? Should I go there? Gonna go right in the middle somewhere. And it's on the beginning of a chapter. Chapter 6, Good Tidings. That sounds positive. So, exciting. What could this be about? And it's from the book Prayer, the Art of Believing. It's only 2 pages. So I will read it and then just stop and start if there's anything good there. Got my big TV glasses on today. Hope you don't mind. But I can see so clearly through these. They are good. Really want to get my eyes fixed soon. Okay, good tidings. How beautiful upon the mountains are the feet of him that bringeth good tidings, that publisheth peace, that bringeth good tidings of good, that publisheth salvation. Publisheth is quite hard to say, actually. A very effective way to bring good tidings to another is to call before your mind's eyes the subjective image of the person you wish to help and have him affirm that which you desired him to do. Mentally hear him tell you he has done it. This awakens within him the vibratory correlate of the state affirmed, which vibration persists until its mission is accomplished. Now, don't ask me what vibratory correlate is. Look it up, because I don't believe anyone out there knows it just off the tip of their tongue, head, whatever. And put it below. Okay, just somebody walking past my window. But I like the sound of that, vibratory correlate. Maybe this week you could try and put that into a conversation with somebody. My nose is itching, sorry. I hate it when it does that. Okay. The vibratory correlate of the state affirmed. So I would imagine that means the vibration of the state affirmed, but it's just a posh way of saying it, a more intellectual way of saying it. I hope it is, because I will use that. It does not matter what it is you desire to have done or whom you select to do it. As soon as you subjectively affirm that it is done, results follow. Failure can result only if you fail to accept the truth of your assertion, or if the state affirmed would not be desired by the subject for himself or another. In the latter event, the state would realize itself in you, the operator. Now, this is very interesting. Okay, so say, for example, my mum has had an operation recently, and she had a lot of pain for many years in her legs. And so what they've done is they fused two of the vertebrae in the back. And the surgeon said, as soon as you wake up, there won't be any pain anymore, like in your legs anyway. And my mum was saying, oh, I'm going to have pain in my back though. I mean, it's an operation, so that's normal, blah, blah, blah. And sure enough, she has had a lot of pain in her back. Now, some people might think, well, that's because she was saying she would. And there's probably some truth in that. But, you know, she is 79 and these operations are pretty hard going. So I imagine for most people, they would have some pain because it's the body, isn't it? But anyway, the pain's gone on and on and on, and she's got pain in her knees as well now, so it's not very good. So I've just been trying to imagine her saying to me, I feel so much better today, there's no pain. And I was listening to a recording of Neville Goddard where he was saying about someone wanting the other person to say, it's sensational. It was a man who was writing a play, and he wanted the person buying the play to say, it's sensational, when he only said, it's good. And he got him to say it. But I don't think I've been doing it very well because she's just been in worse and worse pain. So I'm not really feeling it as well as I should. But it says here, failure can result only if you fail to accept the truth of your assertion. And maybe I don't totally believe it, that's why. Or if the state affirmed would not be desired by the subject for himself or another. Well, she does want to be pain-free. But that's an interesting idea there, isn't it? Because there's a lot of people on YouTube who post things about, well, like the main subjects I think are money and getting yourself a particular partner, someone you've got your eye on and you want that one. And so, what do they call it? Your specific other, I don't know. But I just always felt that's not right. And Neville Goddard never said that. He said about, if you want a partner, imagining that you're loved. Imagining if you want to get married, there's a ring on your finger. And then the right person will come to you. You don't have to imagine a specific person because maybe that person won't make you happy. Maybe you will get them, but they won't make you happy. But maybe you won't because maybe they don't want that. So what happens if you want them, but they want someone else? Who wins? So here, it's kind of answering that question because it's saying in the latter event, the state would realize itself in you, the operator. That's if the state you're imagining for the other is not what they want. It would manifest in you in some way. So we do have free will. If somebody is imagining something for us and we don't want it, it won't manifest. So the person we're imagining for has to want what we're imagining for them. And probably lots of people already know that. But I know some people think that that's possible, that you can get somebody even if they don't really want you. And I just never believed that. So that's just verification for me. But if you do believe that, fine, carry on. Because actually you don't know, maybe they do want you. So you might have success, who knows? But that's the condition anyway, that they have to feel the same way. Okay, getting back into it. The seemingly harmless habit of talking to yourself is the most fruitful form of prayer. That's something we need to remember. So talking to ourselves is very fruitful, the most fruitful. And so when we're walking along, just running over an argument, as I remember Neville Goddard speaking about, it is going to have repercussions in some way. Instead, we need to always think of the good, what we want, and be imagining from the state fulfilled, the wish fulfilled, sorry. So I was thinking about this recently, and I thought, number one, in the morning, imagine the new concept of yourself, who you want to be. Imagine yourself as that person and feel how it would feel. And then imagine yourself as that person in a short scene which implies you have what you want to have. And then from the feeling you get of contentment and satisfaction, carry that around all day. But it always starts with the concept of self. And then when you're carrying around the feeling, this talking to yourself is you're coming from the new concept. You're coming from the feeling that you are the person you want to be. And so you are actually thinking of new ideas from that state. So don't be thinking, oh, what am I going to... Well, you can be thinking, what am I going to do today? But don't think of things in a complainy kind of way. Just think of, like, oh, I'm so successful and I've had that success with that. And now I need to think of what my next thing to do is and start planning things, because that's what you'd be doing. So it is always make-believe. Maybe put up the words make-believe on your wall to remind yourself that's what you have to do every single day. So talking to yourself from the state of the wish fulfilled. A mental argument with the subjective image of another is the surest way to pray for an argument. Yeah, I agree. You are asking to be offended by the other when you objectively meet. He is compelled to act in a manner displeasing to you unless before the meeting you countermand or modify your order by subjectively affirming a change. Now, that's true just on a psychological level, because if you are thinking badly of somebody, it's going to show in your eyes when they see you. They're going to pick up on your vibe. And Neville Goddard goes a step further here by saying that because you're imagining that you're not getting on, that's how it's going to be. So even if you really dislike somebody, if they've done you any harm or wrongs in your life, you have to try and imagine that you're getting on with each other. Well, if you want to get on, if you work with them and you have to be in contact with them. And it will work and you'll like them more, hopefully. Unfortunately, man forgets his subjective arguments, his daily mental conversations with others, and so is at a loss for an explanation of the conflicts and misfortunes of his life. I think we all realise that we forget a lot of what we imagine. And occasionally things do happen to me, and I'll have a sudden remembrance and think, I did imagine this. But the strange thing is, it tends to be very quick imaginings. Like it might have just been a really fleeting thought of something, and I've just had some inner agreement about it, and then I've dropped it, and then it's happened. And sometimes I think maybe that's the way. But when I really, really want something, I'm more inclined to go with imagining every day and just following everything that Neville Goddard says, because that's what he says. I know he doesn't suggest going on indefinitely. And even as I say that, I remember that his brother was imagining that a building belonged to him, and he did that every day, twice a day for 2 years. So forget what I just said. It's just because Neville Goddard has spoken before of imagining for 10 days things like that. And then when you feel that you really have it, you drop it. And I believe that works, but there's nothing wrong with going with it. That's persistence, isn't it? And that is spoken of a lot in the Bible. So, let's see. As mental arguments can produce conflicts, so do happy mental conversations produce those corresponding visible states of good tidings. Man creates himself out of his own imagination. I love that sentence. Man creates himself out of his own imagination. I'm going to write that, stick that on the wall, and so I integrate it, because anything that helps me to imagine the good is great. Yeah, I don't want to be criticizing in my head if that's going to have an effect on who I am. And clearly I'm not believing this enough, because I do that from time to time. And it's almost like just to, it's opinions, it's to get my opinions straight in my head. And in doing so, I'm judging others. And it goes on and on and on, round in circles. And never seems to lead anywhere. And it's all about objective reality. It's about trying to hang on to some kind of anchor in this world. That's what opinions are, I think. We think we are our opinions. That's our identity. So we want to be very clear in what we think and believe. And yet that we are not that at all. And opinions aren't facts. And I've said that to people before who have treated opinions as facts. And God knows I do sometimes as well. And they don't realize that they know that on an intellectual level, but they don't think that's what they're doing. Nobody does. I know sometimes I'm treating my opinion as a fact, because when somebody disagrees with me, I get this tight feeling inside, like you are destroying my identity. But it's not my identity, is it? It's my ego. My ego is reacting to it and trying to save itself from certain death. But it's most things I don't think bother me that much. It's when people start to criticize my spiritual beliefs. Not that that happens very often, but that's the thing that's the closest to my heart. And I don't see that as an opinion, but I just see it as very disrespectful when somebody wants to pick at something, when you're not forcing it on anyone, but they want to rip that part of you apart. And in the moment, I can be very calm and argue my point very plainly. It's afterwards I start to feel uncomfortable and it builds up. And I think, how can they? Why do they do that? I should have said that. I should have stopped them. And it's very negative. And I think, why don't I say it in the moment? Or just say, I don't want to talk about this. Why do I let myself get so worked up? I think we've all got something that really bothers us if somebody criticizes it. And it's just their opinion. It's not fact. I mean, we got to come back to that. It doesn't mean anything that they don't agree with us or believe in the same things that we do. So why is it a problem? Why is it a problem for me anyway? I think it is about the ego, I have to be honest. It is about the ego. I need to stand up for what I truly believe in, what's important to me, in a very gentle way with the person, because they're not going to listen anyway, so why get myself worked up? But also, it hurts me. It's when it's about Jesus, it hurts me when somebody is criticizing that. So I don't think that's too bad, because I think that's less about ego. It's more about when, like, somebody criticizes someone you love very much. It hurts, doesn't it? And thankfully nobody's done that to me for a while, but just challenging opinions. So what was I talking about anyway? Opinions are not facts. Opinions are not facts. And we need to remember that and treat them accordingly. And I could go on and on about that for a long time, but I am going to get to the end of this. If the state desired is for yourself, and you find it difficult to accept as true what your senses deny, call before your mind's eye the subjective image of a friend, and have him mentally affirm that you are already that which you desire to be. This establishes in him, without his conscious consent or knowledge, the subconscious assumption that you are that which he mentally affirmed, which assumption, because it is unconsciously assumed, will persist until it fulfills its mission. Its mission is to awaken in you its vibratory correlate, which vibration, when awakened in you, realizes itself as an objective fact. Sounds very useful. I'll just go through that again. So what I understood when I read that was, you imagine your friend sort of agreeing that you are what you want to be, that you've achieved something. And your assumption about what he or she is saying goes into him in some way, and it has to come to fruition because you set it in motion or something. Let me read that again. It's quite a mouthful as well, isn't it? The English is not so clear, for me anyway. So you mentally affirm in him that you're already what you want to be. And this establishes in him, without his conscious consent or knowledge, the subconscious assumption that you are that which he mentally affirmed. Which assumption, because it is unconsciously assumed, will persist until it fulfills its mission. Its mission is to awaken in you its vibratory correlate, which vibration, when awakened in you, realize itself as an objective fact. So this is another way of doing it. And I know Neville Goddard's spoken about this before, about imagining a scene with a friend saying, you know, like, oh, I remember when you were really poor and you were saying, oh, I want to be a millionaire and when's it going to happen? And now you are, da 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 da. Little conversation and you're both happy and your friend is happy for you, finish. Okay, so you do that over and over again and you get that feeling. So what you're doing is you are putting that assumption into your friend as a vibration, I suppose. And that's going to, that's in his subconscious. And it's going to happen through his subconscious. I think that's a good one to do. And I haven't been imagining with a friend for a while. So I'm going to try that because I have a friend who doesn't live in this country, and we had a falling out not so long ago. And nothing happened, there was no argument, but just communication ceased. And I was going to get in touch with him even tonight or tomorrow and start things off again, talking or whatever. But maybe it's better if I imagine everything's okay first. I just want to, get in touch quite soon because it's gone on too long now, almost 3 months. Maybe he'll be listening to this, I don't know. Don't think he listens to my stuff anyway. So that's something. So imagining that you have achieved what you want, but also bringing a friend into it and planting that vibrational seed in your friend. So that helps it to happen. Another very effective way to pray for oneself is to use the formula of Job, who found that his own captivity was removed as he prayed for his friends. Fix your attention on a friend and have the imaginary voice of your friend tell you that he is or has that which is comparable to that which you desire to be or have. So he is telling you that he's got what you want. Don't be jealous. As you mentally hear and see him, feel the thrill of his good fortune and sincerely wish him well. That's it. Don't be jealous. Always be happy for people. This awakens in him the corresponding vibration of the state affirmed, which vibration must then objectify itself as a physical fact. You will discover the truth of the statement, "Blessed are the merciful, for they shall receive mercy." The quality of mercy is twice blessed. It blesses him who taketh and him who giveth. The good you subjectively accept as true of others will not only be expressed by them, but a full share will be realized by you. Wow. Well, that's the golden rule, isn't it? That's what they call the golden rule. Do unto others what you'd have them do unto you. And it's because, obviously, it's to be loving, but if you imagine them having what they want, you get that too. So that's a good idea, isn't it? Imagine your friend has what you want and you're happy for them. Try it that way round instead of imagining that you've got it. See if that changes anything. A role reversal in a way, isn't it? Last paragraph. Transformations are never total. Force A is always transformed into more than force B. A blow with a hammer produces not only a mechanical concussion, but also heat, electricity, a sound, a magnetic change, and so on. The vibratory correlate in the subject is not the entire transformation of the sentiment communicated. The gift transmitted to another is the divine measure, pressed down, shaken together, and running over, so that after 5,000 are fed from the 5 loaves and 2 fish, 12 baskets full are left over. Abundance. So, that's a mysterious ending, isn't it? So what's going to be left over? And we have the lovely vibratory correlate again. So can somebody just look it up? please. It's to me, it sounds like sort of correlate sounds. Does it sound similar or opposite? The vibratory correlate. I need it in a sentence with the context. Let me see. I felt its meaning before, but I don't feel it anymore. Da, da, da. Don't know where it is. I think it's just vibration. Correlate has to mean something extra though. I just can't think. I get a feeling for it, but I can't find the word for correlate in my mind. Equivalent, maybe. It's vibrational equivalent. Let me find it. It's the really long sentence. Its mission is to awaken in you its vibratory correlate. Its vibratory equivalent, which vibration, when awakened in you, realize itself as an objective fact. Yeah, I think it's the vibration that corresponds, it's got to be something like that, with what you're wishing for. Something like that. You know what I mean anyway. So, what did you think of that then? I was really going on and on there, off the cuff. I hope you got something from it anyway. Just before I finish, I would like to share some things or something, trying desperately to think of something. I had an experience recently where I was fooled. So that's good to get out in the open, isn't it? Not to be embarrassed about these things. And I was so happy though. It was such a good feeling that I don't regret being fooled. And what happened was I had left a message on one of Adam Lambert's got a few different YouTube accounts, and I don't know, he's got one for makeup and I don't know if he's got other ones. Anyway, he does loads of videos, loads of clips, and he did one on makeup. And so I left him a comment just saying that his makeup was really good, but he's even better natural and something like that, you know, something nice. And it was only 10 minutes in when he had just put the clip up. Can't get my words out. So I was quite quick in putting that in. Anyway, quite soon afterwards, I had a message underneath with Adam Lambert's picture next to it, Adam Lambert, and it had highlighted reply above. And it was just saying, you know, thanks so much for subscribing. And where are you from? And I looked at it and I just couldn't believe it, because I was fooled by the highlighted reply above it. Because when it's somebody's account and they reply, there's something written there, so you know it's from them. It's not highlighted reply though, but I just got confused with the excitement of thinking that it could have been the Adam Lambert replying to me, but it wasn't. And I don't know, I think I just exploded with some kind of ecstasy, because I'm writing this play, this TV pilot idea. I'm not writing it, I've written it and I've left it, and I feel I need to get back to it. So maybe this was something that will encourage me to go over it and edit it a bit and do something with it, because I don't want it to just be for nothing. Anyway, I adore him. I adore his voice. He is amazing to me. And the idea that he could have got in touch, and not only got in touch and asked me a question, just made me crazy. And it was just like my brain stopped for about 10 seconds because I was thinking, I've got to reply really quickly because he might see my reply, then he'll send another one. This is my chance. This is my chance. So, you know, I wasn't thinking, and I was just like thanking him. And then I said, oh, I've written a comedy pilot with you in, and it's about this. And, you know, I had to let you know because it's not every day that you get in touch with me. Send it off. Nothing came through. But in the meantime, I was just like, ah, like a teenager. And I felt so happy. I was just so like brimming over with this excitement inside. It was amazing. And I couldn't really tell anybody. I was just thinking, oh, just wait. And because my mum is not having a good time at the moment, I couldn't even call up and say, Adam Lambert, send me a message. But I did send a short message to my dad, which I later deleted before he'd read it. And then, you know, I was just enjoying the feeling for about 10 minutes and putting his music on. And then I went back to have a look at it, and I thought, I didn't click on the photo. Is it Adam Lambert? Slow realization. So, and when I did, the account came up, very professional looking account with Adam Lambert on, 1 subscriber. And I just felt this heat in my face, like I was really blushing, even though there was nobody there. I just felt so humiliated. But it was good to feel that humiliation in a way. I just felt very small. And yeah, it was much more than embarrassment. It was real humiliation. And the good thing was, you know, it was just like I was freed of my ego for a short time, and it was just, I feel so stupid and small, but not beating myself up at all. And there was still the good feeling there, but just, you know, going deep into the humiliation. I mean, I think there's love in humiliation as well, like when you experience it yourself. Not humiliating someone else, obviously. So I quickly deleted my message, and I didn't send anything to the person who'd fooled me, because what's the point? And I just felt humiliated, so I couldn't. And yeah, I can't say I felt bad. It just felt like, oh, you know, a sudden change from the 1 minute I was up in this ecstatic feeling, then right down. But it was funny because later on in the evening, I was thinking, oh, it feels like something different in me. What is it? And it was just like the remainder of the feeling, the ecstatic feeling, because I haven't felt that forever, like for such a long time, and my body sort of didn't know what to do with it, I suppose. So it was still there. And so I thought, I never felt angry with the person. I don't know who it is. But I thought, well, I'm glad I was fooled for a short time. Because if I hadn't been fooled, I wouldn't have felt so happy. And I really felt this strong connection with Adam Lambert through the feeling. I really felt that we were communicating in that moment. And I started to think, maybe this is how it's going to happen. because maybe he'll be interested in what I'm writing and he'll have a look, and maybe something will come from it, because I've been imagining that, you know, I'm going to do this with him, and then suddenly he gets in touch on YouTube. It's like, whoa, blew my mind. And it turned out to be a false alarm, but was it? Because it created such a strong feeling, and I was sure I was communicating with him. And so that's gone into my subconscious. I mean, it still feels weird to me. I really feel like I was chatting with him and he was chatting with me. Weird. So that's my confession of humiliation this week, but also ecstasy. So I can't complain, can I? But what do you think? Do you think the feeling will produce something to do with what I just spoke about? It has to, really, if feelings do create situations. And that was one of the most realistic situations I've experienced, which wasn't real. So this has gone on for a long time, because once I start chatting, it's difficult in the beginning, but then I build up a bit of steam, don't I? So I hope I haven't bored you too much, and please leave your comments as always. I always appreciate them, and if you like, please like, and next time I'll do a better one. But I quite liked that, just going like this, and just what's this one? Oh, my bookmark. So it's your faith is your fortune. So maybe I'm going to read from that next time. Okay, people, thanks so much for listening, and have a great weekend, and all the best with your manifestations. Okay, bye.